Hello everyone, so I'm like a Villanueva Amrin. I'm from Philippines and now I'm residing here in Brazil. So our main guest for today is here, and sir, please introduce yourself.
My name is Murilo Cesar Gnat.
So it was great to know you, and this is our first question.
Wow.
When and how your family business started? Kindly elaborate its progress from start until now.
How the business progressed? Which one?
No, you can elaborate it first when it started.
When it started, I mean
Yeah.
all of them?
Just a few, if we
Just
can
the most important ones.
Okay.
Not all of them, because if I go through a lot of them, I don't even know the details.
Okay,
So just do the main ones. Okay.
go for it.
So, when I was still a child, I was about, let's say, I don't know, like a baby. My parents, they do in the university, right?
Yeah.
So they had to keep me at home, and there was someone they hired to take care of me and my brother. And then my papa and my mom, they opened a computer shop. I mean, my papa opened a computer shop. He was making progress in the whole city. He was installing computers. He was the one bringing technology to the city. It was a small city called Cararama. Even installing some of the government's departments that still use the typewriter. He was installing computers and stuff. People were so afraid of computers at that time. They didn't know how it worked, but they were surprised at how efficient it was. And so he started a small business in which he taught programming after learning by himself. And was doing pretty good. But from the I don't know, 20, 30 people who came to study, maybe only 4 or 5 stuck to the whole program. It was very hard. Not anyone can do it. So it was doing pretty good, blah blah blah. After some time, it kind of developed into a land house. I don't know what you guys call it in the Philippines. It's like a place where there's many computers and people gather.
It's a computer shop.
Yeah, computer shop. They gather to use the internet or to do some kind of office job or whatever they need to do, or play games, which was the most popular. So it was doing pretty good, and then they expanded the business into also selling and renting. I mean, it was mainly just renting DVDs. DVDs was kind of a boom, right? Step forward from VHS, and it was getting pretty big. We had, I don't know, thousands of DVDs there. I would like to go there every time I go off of school to just play on the computers, or maybe get a movie, go home. It was nice. And then after a few years like this, the business kind of was not good anymore. The customers on the city, they're not really helping the business grow. I think they just, I don't know, they just prefer something else. It was a strange city because many of the local business, which are owned by the local people, they didn't succeed very well. But anyone who's coming from outside, they just made it. I don't know if that's something. I was just a child. I'm just telling what I heard from the stories and blah blah blah. I don't have the memory to, and I didn't even care like what's happening.
It's okay, just go forward
Yeah.
when the restaurant started.
Of course, then when I was about 11 years old, we moved city. My parents, they just sell everything they had, the house, the business.
Computers.
but they were in huge debt because if you're gonna open a business, you need to get in debt with the bank, right? So they couldn't pay everything, so we were basically no money, just like a little bit saved up. And then they followed their dreams, going to a big city, which was booming, and it was mainly a, how do you call it, the city where people from outside of the country are coming to visit. So, tourism city, it's a touristic city, mainly. And at the start, they tried many things. They, we just stayed at someone's place at the time because we didn't have money to pay rent. Someone who was my uncle, so the brother of my mom knew. We stayed there for a little while. It was a nice place. Then we go to a nice little apartment, and basically they started trying many types of business to kind of try and grasp what was working or not in the city. They had one that stuck to my mind is the one they sold, kind of like an ice cream, but it's not. It's not like a normal ice cream. It's a special type of ice cream. It's made of yogurt. I think it's called yogurt ice creams. The frozen yogurt. That's the name. Frozen yogurt. Look it up. It's pretty good actually. And it was at the start. It was kind of hard. They just buy like a small machine for the ice cream, and they just selling ice cream. Then they transition to the frozen yogurt. They build a little stand, and they find a place that allowed them to stay in the front. It was kind of like an old shopping mall, but it's like really, 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 really small. It's like the size of a big restaurant, with just shops on the side, maybe 8 shops, and a big hall in the center. And they just asked to stay on the front. They paid a little bit of money. They stayed there, sell the frozen yogurt. They had like many varieties of choices. You could put fruit in it, and many different other options. Anyway, was doing okay. Finally getting a little bit of money. And then they open a restaurant. But the story how it gets there, it's pretty interesting. So the owner of the building, they make a proposal to my parents because they see they are very hardworking people. They are there every day. They stay from morning to night, and they are very honest people. They are just amazing people. I know them. And the owner of the place, they make offer. They're gonna give my parents the whole space on the middle, so they can build a business there like a restaurant, right? They even have a kitchen in the back, to the left side if you're looking forward into it, front and center. And it was, I mean, I will not say it was a bad opportunity because it was good, but the place was really, really beat down. It was like in really bad condition, so it would be like really hard work to get it in a good starting condition. The kitchen especially was
Messy.
very, very messy and full of
Dirt.
yucky stuff, stuff you don't want to see and near your food, for sure. But my father, he knows everything about construction. He built many houses during his infancy and up to adulthood, because his father was he's like the boss in the guys who have a group of people who work for them and they build houses and stuff. And my grandpa was basically the guy who's leading and building most of the stuff. So my father, since early age, he was building stuff, you know. So for him it was a challenge, but not so big. So they did it. They get the place in good condition. They make a lot of renovations. They start small with just one cook. They already had some chairs in place in there, and the deal was kind of like, if you guys want, you try out, and if it works out, you can keep it, and then you start paying for the rent. And that's what happened. And after a few years, well, voila, the place was pretty good, you know, it was doing good, it was organized. The influx of people was not always constant, but it was okay. So the business was not losing money, so we stayed open for about 10 years. And there were some improvements along the road. My parents learned a lot, and especially about how to deal with people, because in the other previous business they didn't have a lot of people working for them. But throughout this journey, they met thousands and thousands of people who've gone through the business, you know. Some crazy, some normal, some a little bit out of the box, you know. Some bad people as well. But anyway, then COVID happens, right? And since it's a touristic city, that basically is like a death sentence. Especially because the local government, they just force everyone to close.
Yeah, to stop
Yeah.
the operations of every businesses.
Yeah. So they impose a lot of restrictions. They put police to literally arrest people if they stay open. It was a crazy time. I think they gone too far. If people wanna die, let them die, you know. don't act like you're their dad. You're not. Anyway, that's another thing. But basically, they were forced to close, and while it's closed, they were also forced by the government to keep paying the people who work
The
there,
employees.
the employees.
They
So
still
even though
pay the
they are
employees.
not open, they cannot open, and the government is offering no help whatsoever, it's just imposing restrictions, they also have to keep paying the employees. So whatever little money we built up during those 10 years is just poof, vanished, because my father, I think he had the idea we just abandon the business, because otherwise we're just gonna lose everything, and we go to another place which is more free, like the city we live now. During that time, they didn't have as many restrictions. People were free to do business, and I mean, it did way better than the other city. But anyway, we had to leave behind basically 2 restaurants and a lot of stuff was built during 1 decade or more. And it happened because, I mean, between many other things, there was my father wanted to leave quickly, but my mom, she insisted a little bit in waiting, and we paid the price for that. We kind of just lose everything then. We moved to this new city, and then let's just say that we didn't have anything. I mean, no money, you know, other than the things like tables and chairs
Equipments.
and equipment from the previous
Kitchen,
restaurants
yeah.
that we could salvage, you know, because we couldn't salvage everything, because when we left, my parents made a deal with one of the previous employees that after the COVID restrictions are relieved, one of the employees, he was a good worker, so they trusted him. He could take care of one of the other restaurants we had. We have 2 by the 1 decade time. The one in the beach, basically we
Near
just
to the beach.
no, the one in the beach we left, but the one in the city, he basically was the one taking control. But since there was no money to keep the business running, the employee, he had to take money with the bank, but since he had no real history with the bank, my parents had to get involved, like backup in case he didn't pay the interest fee and the monthly rate. Then my parents would have to pay it. But they thought it would be okay. He would take care of it and would pay off the debt. Well, after we moved, and actually we only able to move because one of my uncles who works with the transport of
Seats.
food and seeds basically, and he had like trucks and stuff, so he made a deal in which he would send seeds to the city where we lived. He would cargo, remove all the cargo and sell it there, and then we could just put our stuff inside the truck and then move into the new city. That's what we did to save money because I didn't have no money. And we moved here, and then my parents use all of their credit score they built during those 10 years plus to get a new, how do you call it when you get the money with the bank?
Withdraw.
No, no.
No.
Anyway, they get the money with the bank. You get the idea.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money, so they invested all of the money into something that might or might not work, into basically a garage parking lot. It was a parking lot. It was pretty big, but it was just that. It was empty. There was a tree in the middle, and it had a little bit of like a roofing just on the sides, a little bit like small, just for cars and stuff. You know, it is. And basically, my parents made a deal to take that space, and then we started construction. And the idea was to make a new restaurant using the knowledge they built up from the 10 years plus. And that's what we did. I helped a little bit, you know, with my papa, my brother, me. Juscelio was our other guy who was helping for a long time there. We had other people there, but it was just like temporary. We are like the main ones doing this stuff there. And well, we built it. It was done. We built a restaurant, and now we're running for more than 2 years now. It's doing not very good, but not very bad either. But it's a nice place. We just need to organize it more and make it more efficient. Other than that, we are doing okay. Sure.
That's it.
That's the story. Very small.
Okay. No, it's not small. It's too much. But this is the second question. What type of market integration does your business or your family business belong? It's either horizontal, vertical, backward, forward, or combines. And why?
Look, I don't know much about that, but let's say maybe vertical, because we just buy like food,
Yeah.
raw food,
Raw food.
and then we cook.
Yeah.
We prepare.
The process of cooking and
And so-
serving to the customer.
But of course, that's not the main thing restaurants do. We serve people.
Você viu a outra pecinha dessa?
Não, não vi. Ah, em cima do negocinho, não tava?
Calma, então mais.
So the main thing restaurants do is serve people. We have a mood, we have a nice space, we have music, we have live music
We
as
have a
well.
play section where
We
the
have play
kids
sections where
can
we
play
take
there.
care of children, both big and small.
Video
Anyway,
games.
restaurants are more about the space than the food. The food is just like an excuse to go there, right? But anyway, we take good care of our customers, and we try as much as we can, for sure.
So the third question is, what are the machines or technologies being used in the family business? How this technologies helps the business?
I mean, we use computers
There's a lot in the kitchen.
in the kitchen, computers.
No, I mean some machines that used for
Oh.
cooking.
Machines for cooking? Oh,
Yeah,
yes, we do
There's a
have
lot.
technology, you know, like
the one that you told me
super
about
cooking special machine that is very expensive.
Yeah.
So we have like one machine that is very special. Although we don't use it much, but it's there when we need it for some special recipes. It has the function of microwave, oven, also the air fryer. It also has the moisturizer. It can also clean itself if you just put the products inside. And I mean, there's so many things inside the thing that's it's crazy. And you can also program it specifically to whatever kind of plate or dish you actually want to make inside. It has many functions that can work together or separately with different timings. We can even restore food that's been frozen as if it's a new cooked, like newly cooked. That's very useful. It's a nice piece of technology for sure.
Yeah.
You can even cook multiple foods at the same time. You can set like it's in the middle sheet only, the top one, the bottom. Of course, there's also the computers which is receiving the orders, which is made on the cell phones. We make
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very great.
when the customer asks for the food,
They don't need to go to the counter to ask
No.
the food.
they don't need to go to the counter. They only
They just
go to
have
the-
a cell phone and then just click what the customers want to order. That's
that's
really
true.
great.
So they just
It's
send
very
the
nice.
information to the system through the Wi-Fi. The system is it's on the server, which is located somewhere safe, and then it's sent to the kitchen. If it's a plate of food, if it's a drink, then it's sent to the what do you call it?
Bar section.
The bar section. I don't drink, so I don't remember the kind of name now. But yeah, and that's kind of how it works. We are going to do some improvements, implementing the automatic customer, how do you call it, auto service. That is for the future. And there's also
There's also the TVs in every corner of the restaurant. Like
Yeah.
the CCTV, also the CCTVs.
yeah, we have CCTV, which is basically the
That's
security
the
cameras.
technology after all.
And we also have
The TVs for the advertisement.
advertisement
Yeah.
TVs for advertisement, and also for people to watch like soccer or whatever they watch.
Yeah, exactly. I watch also.
Nice. Yeah, that's about the basic. There's more, but it's more
Yeah. There's a
complicated.
lot of machines I also saw there, but I don't know the name.
Okay.
So the fourth question is, what is your advice or tips for the co-owners
Co-owners,
of the businesses?
explain.
What do you mean?
Is there
I
more
mean-
to it? It's just like someone who's
Just
Funding.
just
Is he-
like an entrepreneurs.
Wait.
The entrepreneurs.
I need to know.
What?
Is it just like there's an owner and the co-owner is just funding, giving money?
No.
Is he actually there
That's how
helping?
they manage their business.
Because it's really very common to people to be like a co-owner. They just send money to help develop the place. They don't actually work there. They are very specifically not wanting to work on the place or whatever. They just give money to develop and they take a share.
No, I mean is just your tips